Taiwan. I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The military is getting ready to open one of its largest army bases to the public. While much of the equipment is from the U.S., the event aims to showcase how modern Taiwan's military is. Our reporter Jaime Okan was there to take a closer look.
Special Forces soldiers making the difficult look easy. This is just one of a handful of shows that are being rehearsed to mark the Taiwanese Army's first open house in 9 years. On September 24, civilians will get a chance to check out some of the military equipment on display at one of the country's largest bases.
静态装备成展，我们主要将国军现在现役的精锐的武器装备陈列在国人面前。我们大家都知道，面对中共的威胁，我们国军已经随时好备战。我们备战而不求战。
For decades, Taiwan has dealt with threats and coercion from China, and it's been pushing to modernize its military in an effort to create a more robust defense. And this open house is a way to demonstrate to the public that the military can handle such challenges. These U.S. Apache helicopters were center stage, and people here were given a demonstration of their power. The aircraft are also meant to serve as a symbol of Washington's commitment to help Taiwan defend itself. The U.S. is Taiwan's largest provider of weapons and military equipment, from things like artillery to anti-air systems and even fighter jets. But weapons can only go so far, and analysts are pushing for Taiwan and the U.S. to step up military exchanges, as that would give Taiwan a boost in its self-defense capabilities. In fact, one of 2 battalions that could be sent to the U.S. for joint training is stationed here at this base. And there are plans to send almost 600 soldiers by 2025.
The U.S. National Guard, in particular, training Taiwanese forces, U.S. Special Forces training Taiwanese forces, all of that is absolutely essential to the defense of Taiwan.
Taiwan and the United States do not conduct official military exchanges, but the U.S. is mandated by law to provide equipment and weapons to help the country defend itself. The U.S. has always had a significant say in how Taiwan should develop its defense strategy, and with deeper cooperation expected, Taiwan's armed forces are set to learn even more about how to ensure the nation's security.
It's one thing for people, for say policymakers in the United States to tell Taiwan, you should follow this particular military strategy. It's another thing entirely when the U.S. is putting skin in the game and saying, not only should you do this, we'll also give you the tools in order to actually implement that kind of strategy.
As military officials here get ready for the open house, they hope the event will be an opportunity to show off its efforts at modernization and demonstrate that it's looking for the best ways to defend the country against any threat. John Su and Jaime Okan for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan has been preparing its citizens in the event of a catastrophe. September 21st is National Disaster Prevention Day. Sally Yansen went to an expo in Taipei, which showed people survival skills.
Fighting fires, rescuing casualties, and knowing where to hide in case of an earthquake. People here are getting prepared in case of a disaster. It's all part of National Disaster Prevention Day, which is held every year, and people are eager to brush up on their survival skills.
因为台湾有很多地震啊、台风啊、火灾啊，所以就是希望能够有安全的知识，在遇到紧急状况的之后，可以知道如何应变。
平常可能如果万一遇到的时候，至少我们会知道该怎么预防。
For the country's rescue workers, it's a chance to demonstrate the work they do.
那这边是属于就是我们当初去土耳其的时候的一些在现场做的一些处置和作为。
The event commemorates the 1999 Gigi earthquake, which killed almost 2,500 people. Taiwan sits on a seismic fault, making it vulnerable to tremors. And many of its buildings, which were built decades ago, are in poor structural condition. Now there are efforts to strengthen the youngest generation's resilience in case of the worst.
希望能够让我们的孩子在生活当中随时随地都能够帮助他人。
Children are the target audience for disaster prevention, as heat waves, floods, and other extreme weather caused by the climate crisis are on the rise.
The extreme events that can happen, that can be extremely dangerous, even now, it's happening in many places in the world, but also in the future, in 20, 30, 40 years, it's going to be much impactful than it is right now.
其实我感觉从了解这个部分，我们更应该去深入到说它对整个社会的冲击，因为社会冲击让我们更了解到说这个议题我们不能够去忽视它。
Despite the upbeat atmosphere at this event, it's hoped that participants will take these threats seriously.
National Disaster Preparedness Day is an occasion to reflect on the tragedy that struck Taiwan 24 years ago. But looking to the future is an important way to equip Taiwanese people with the resources and the know-how to survive any calamity. John Su and Sally Jensen in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's Coast Guard also prepared for disasters on the scenic Guishan Island just off the northeastern coast. A helicopter and Coast Guard ship were together to put out a mock blaze on the uninhabited island. The forestry agency says the drill simulates the kind of brush fire made more common by climate change. Guishan Island is a popular spot with day trippers. Authorities are asking visitors not to leave garbage on the island to help avoid fires. Taiwan's central bank has lowered its forecast for the country's 2023 GDP growth. At the bank's quarterly board meeting, the annual economic growth forecast was revised to 1.46% from its previous forecast of 1.72% made in June. However, the bank says it expects the economy to rebound next year and predicts GDP will grow by over 3% in 2024. A new bill would tie future minimum wage adjustments to several economic indicators. These include the Consumer Price Index, the Labor Productivity Index, and the minimum cost of living. Employers that pay less than the minimum wage could be fined up to $47,000. The bill will also establish a new review committee for minimum wage adjustments. The proposal has been sent to lawmakers for review. Earlier this month, legislators approved the 4% hike in the minimum wage, which will come into effect next year. It's World Alzheimer's Day, which raises awareness of the challenges and stigma around a disease that affects millions of people globally. In Taiwan, where the population is rapidly aging, over 300,000 people are now living with some form of dementia. Jeremy Olivier has this report.
85-year-old Yingzi was once the main cook in her family, but her ability to make their favorite dishes started to wane around 5 years ago. Her relatives noticed something was wrong.
孙子全部都觉得很奇怪，说：“阿嬷，你这绿豆汤怪怪的。”然后我们也就这样赶快喝一喝啊，果然是可能掺到盐吧，所以他那个时候可能糖跟盐已经搞不清楚了。
Yingzi's family took her to a doctor who diagnosed her with mild dementia. She recently began taking part in community learning courses, which have helped her condition remain stable. Cases like this are increasingly common in Taiwan, which is set to become a super-age society by 2025. The health ministry says over 300,000 people in Taiwan are living with dementia, with 1 in 13 people over the age of 65 experiencing some form of it. Health authorities say that aside from medical care, it's important that Taiwan's older residents maintain an active social life.
如果能够让我们的这些的长者能够走出家里，到社区里面去。 它可以降低它罹患失智的风险高达40%。
People with dementia are already covered by services under Taiwan's long-term care system. Local governments have also been promoting dementia-friendly communities, 160 of which have been set up nationwide. As Taiwan continues to grow older, it will need to keep developing and adjusting policies to better serve its aging population. Patrick Chen and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching today's What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. And finally, today we leave you with unforgettable images of Santorini Island in Greece. I'm Ethan. Take care, and I'll see you next time.